It feels like every industry is talking about AI these days, right? But for telecom companies, this isn't just some buzzword. Nope. It's a massive, fundamental shift in how they operate, how they compete, and even how they think. So the big question we're tackling here is, why this sudden obsession? And maybe more importantly, what's it all mean for us? All right, here's the plan. We'll kick things off by looking at how AI has gone from just hype to a real deal reality in the telco world. Then we're going to peek into the future and talk about the next big thing, AI agents. After that, a quick reality check on just how hard it is to scale this stuff. We'll walk through a 7-point playbook for success and wrap up by looking at what it really means to become an AI native company. Okay, so first up, from hype to reality. The big takeaway here? For your phone company, the days of just dipping their toes in the water with AI, those are officially over. We've hit a real tipping point. It's all about implementation now. And just look at how fast this is happening. I mean, seriously, a couple of years ago, only about a third of telco execs were even focused on small AI pilots. But now, we're looking at almost 2/3 who are all in on scaling AI across their entire organization. This isn't some slow and steady change, people. This is a full-throttle, foot-on-the-gas acceleration. So why the big rush? Well, it really boils down to this number right here. These companies are targeting a massive 10 to 15% jump in their core profitability by going all in on AI. Now, when you're talking about companies this huge, that's an absolutely enormous amount of money. It's no wonder AI has become a top priority in the boardroom. And this isn't just some fantasy either. We're already seeing some incredible early wins. For example, one telco cut its help desk costs by over a third just by using an AI bot. Another one used AI to create super personalized offers and boom, boosted its average revenue per user by up to 15%. And another even got about 10% smarter with its network spending. These are real, tangible results that prove the value is absolutely there. Okay, so if that's what's happening right now, where is all this headed? Well, the next frontier is something called agentic AI, and trust me, it promises to be a total game changer. So what in the world is an AI agent? The easiest way to think about it is like this. It's a piece of software that can understand a goal, look at its surroundings, make a plan, and then, and this is the key part, actually do stuff to achieve that goal, all on its own, with very little human handholding. And here's the crucial difference between an agent and the AI copilots you've probably been hearing about. A copilot works with you, right? You're always in the driver's seat. But an agent? An agent works for you. You just give it the destination, and it figures out how to drive the car itself. It's a huge shift from collaboration to true autonomous execution. To make this a little more concrete, let's imagine a salesperson in a B2B role. They could just tell an AI agent system, hey, help me find new leads this week. And the agent just gets to work. It starts researching and contacting potential customers. It creates custom offers and gets them approved internally. It even schedules the meetings and puts together the pitch deck. And when the deal is done, it handles all the back-end paperwork and keeps an eye on the account for future opportunities. This frees up the human salesperson to focus on what they do best, building relationships and closing those critical deals. But here's the thing. It goes way beyond just making things faster. The report really emphasizes that these agents can act as thought partners. Imagine an agent that could analyze network data to find the real root cause of an outage, or even help a company completely redesign its business from the ground up. We're talking about finding better solutions, not just faster ones. Now, this all sounds pretty incredible, right? But here's the reality check. Moving from a cool concept to a company-wide reality, well, that's where things get really tricky. The path to scaling AI is absolutely full of pitfalls. The report shares this really great cautionary tale. There was this large organization, and they rolled out an AI copilot for their software developers. And the initial results were just amazing. I mean, productivity shot up by 25 to 40%. It looked like a home run. But then something went wrong. After they rolled it out to everybody else, those incredible gains just evaporated. They dropped to less than 5%. The huge impact they were banking on, it just vanished. So what happened? Well, it turns out the technology itself is often the easy part. You had the early adopters who were super enthusiastic, but the rest of the organization, not so much. The tech teams and the business teams weren't really talking to each other, the data they were feeding the AI was a total mess, and there was no real plan to actually help people learn and adopt the new tools. It's a classic story, really. Without the right foundation, even the best tech in the world will fail when you try to scale it. So, how do telcos avoid that exact fate? Well, this is where McKinsey lays out a really practical 7-point playbook for getting this right. And this is the roadmap. It's not about little one-off projects anymore. It's about transforming entire workflows from end to end. It's about building a central, reusable AI platform, getting your data house in order, and, this is a big one, managing the human side of all this change. It also means you need a new operating model, smart partnerships, and a really robust way to manage risk. So let's just zoom in on a few of the most critical parts. Let's start with data because it's the foundation for everything. And AI is only as smart as the data it can get its hands on. And get this, nearly half of all executives believe that data problems are the single biggest thing that's going to stop them from scaling the next wave of AI agents. If that data foundation is shaky, the whole thing is going to collapse. Okay, next up is the people problem. You know, telco employees have incredible experience. They tend to stay in their jobs almost twice as long as people in other industries. But that kind of stability can also create what they call organizational inertia, a resistance to change. So if you don't have a serious plan to bring your people along on this journey, all these fancy new tools are just going to sit on a digital shelf and gather dust. Change management has to be part of the plan from day one. And finally, this idea of a platform, not just a bunch of separate projects. So instead of having a dozen different teams all building their own AI tools in their own little silos, the smart companies are creating a central platform with reusable services that everyone can tap into. The report talks about one telco that did this and managed to cut the time it took to launch new AI applications from months down to just 2 weeks. Now that's the power of building a scalable foundation. So when you put all these pieces together, you start to see this vision for the future, the AI native telco. This is a company where AI isn't just a tool, it's a core part of their DNA, powering decisions all across the organization. And the report wraps up with this really powerful quote that I think just sums up the stakes perfectly. For these companies, this isn't optional anymore. The rewards for getting it right are immense, but the competitive pain of not doing it, well, that stands to be equally large. And that really leaves us with one final thought. The next time you're dealing with your phone or internet provider, maybe ask yourself this. Are they just using AI, or are they fundamentally transforming to become an AI native company? Because the answer to that question is going to shape the future of their business and, of course, your experience as their customer.